this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for A+X issue 2. I know I said in my first review for A+X that I won't be picking up this book, and I still say I'm not going to be picking this up frequently, but issue 2 definitely looked interesting because I'm a humongous Kitty Pryde fan, so I was like, let's pick this up. I think this series will be something I pick up when I see a character I really like. So Kitty Pryde is a character I really like, so that's why I picked up issue 2. But let's talk about the cover, because there's other characters that will be in this besides Kitty Pryde, and that's Iron Man, Black Widow, and Rogue. So Black Widow and Rogue they're going to have their own story, and Iron Man and Kitty is going to have their own story in this. And something I love about these covers is that they tell us who's going to be in the story. We get a team up. On the top we get a team up, and then in the middle we get a team up with someone else. So I do like that they show that, because if you want, let's say you want to think in the next issue it's going to be Storm and Black Panther. If you're a big fan of their relationship, you're going to want to pick up that next issue. And I'm glad that they show who is going to be in the next issue. So that's why I love these covers for A+X, because I think this is a series that people are not going to pick up every time. I think they're just going to pick it up if they like the character, and I think that's a great type of team-up thing, and I'm glad that they do that. So let's talk about the issue and see if I like it. Talk about the story. The first story is Black Widow just saying, hey, I want to have a day off, and she tries to have her day off, but Sentinel comes, Rogue helps, and they defeat the Sentinel. This happens a lot, and then they have their own day off, and they say, Captain Marvel could deal with it. We'll have our day off. So it's just, again, just a regular team up with Rogue and Black Widow just defeating the Sentinel, even though Black Widow wanted her day off. Next one is Kitty gets a job offer by Iron Man saying, you know, we know you're a genius, you're good with computers, help us. But then we see Kitty has this cold, and we find out it's not really cold, it's actually Brode's still in her system, because if you haven't been reading Wolverine X-Men, she was pregnant with Brodes because they infested her. So now we get to see them all in the lab and in this place, and Iron Man tries to defeat them, but Kitty's like, oh, I'll defeat them, and she has a smart way of defeating them. And Iron Man's like, oh, maybe I got over my head. So you want, and Kitty's like, I'll just go now. He's like, okay, but we'll have coffee. So I don't know if Iron Man will offer her the job after this, but it should be interesting. I like kind of seeing characters we don't get to see interact that much, but I'll talk more about that with Iron Man and Kitty Pryde when I analyze that a little more. But let's talk about the Black Widow and Rogue story first. I thought it was enjoyable. I didn't love it because I'm just not a big Black Widow and Rogue fan, so I just kind of picked up this issue for Iron Man and Kitty. So that was kind of one of those things. I was like, oh, I'll read it because I bought the issue, but I wasn't really excited for it. And then we had that bad Wolverine X-Men type of art, graffiti type art, so I did not love that, and the art was just really disappointing. But I kind of like the interaction with Black Widow and Rogue, and in the end we get to see them just have a day off. And I like that these stories could just be fun, and we get to see, again, these two characters' personalities kind of clash, and it was kind of fun with that. So I thought it was an okay story for the beginning, but if you're a why do I keep saying Black Canary? If you're a big Black Widow and Rogue fan, you're gonna want to read that half of the story. Again, I'm a humongous Kitty Pryde fan, so I was really looking forward to the second portion of this issue, and I loved how Iron Man and Kitty Pryde's just talked. I loved how their jokes collided with each other, and I think Tony's, sense of humor really came out in this issue, which I love, and I think we get to see that a lot in the movies, but not all the time in the comic books, so we got to see a lot of his sense of humor in this, and we even got to see Kitty have some sense of humor. I also just enjoyed the whole Wolverine X-Men tie-in, because we get to see the Brodes that happen in Wolverine X-Men. If you've been reading that series, you get to see that in this issue, and I like to see that people actually think Kitty is a strong player. She is a genius, and I feel like people don't elaborate on that much, because I feel like she's a character that is put at the sidelines, but for some reason this year she's actually been not on the sidelines. She's been in a lot of comics. I think she was in 3 issues just in this week, so I'm glad that they're using Kitty Pryde, because I think she's a really amazing character. We also get to see Loki just eat a watermelon, which was hilarious. So this whole issue was just very funny, and just the adventure was fun, and just Iron Man and Kitty Pryde interacting. Again, I just don't think we get to see those two characters interact, and it was just fun to see them interact and just kind of butt heads and say, I work for the Wolverine, you know, the Jean Grey Institute, so I don't think this is gonna work. And then Iron Man just trying to persuade Kitty. And just these hilarious things that happen between both of them. They just, their personalities really collided really well. And it just made this issue really hilarious, and what a team-up story should be. Either just very enjoyable, or just like a good action-packed issue, or just hilarious. And I think that's what the second portion did. The first portion was action-packed, not as comedic, but this is comedic, action-packed. I love the second portion, and I just loved how Iron Man and Kitty Pryde really reacted to each other, and even Pepper. We get to see, with one scene, we can see Tony telling the plan why he wants Kitty is because he's making these pin particles that'll help people lose weight. So he's like, you know, he was making a joke to Kitty. He says, Kitty's like, what are you calling me, fat? He said, absolutely not, although between you and me, Pepper's been packing on. So, packing on a little. So, Kitty, Pepper just rolls her eyes. And I just think, like, those little things were hilarious in this issue. So, definitely pick this up. I think it was enjoyable. I didn't love the art for the second portion. You can see how long Pepper's neck is, and just in that scene. And the art is a little, there's Tony's face like that. I didn't love the art. It was very thin, I guess. I don't know, maybe thin-lined. I just didn't love it. I don't know. I guess it's just not my style type of art. So it's definitely, it has to be your type of style, and this just wasn't. It felt very like webcomic-y, because sometimes with webcomics you get very thin art, at least webcomics I've read. And it's the same thing over here. It's just not my style art. I think a lot of people might enjoy it, but for me, I just didn't. And I think it did affect the story a little bit for that second portion. And I didn't love the art for the first portion, so art was a little eh. But I enjoyed the story for the second half. First half was an okay story, nothing that I really enjoyed. But I gave it 3.5. Really, I really think this is worth picking up, especially if you like these characters. If you don't, then you're not going to enjoy it. But if you like one of these characters, you're going to enjoy it. And I say pick it up. I give it 3.5. I don't think I'll be picking up A+X for a while unless I see a character I really like. Probably like Spider-Man or, you know, Captain Marvel or something. But we'll have to see. I did enjoy this issue, though, and I think it's a fun team-up book. So, I say pick it up. I give it 3.5. This is Comic Uno. Hope you guys enjoyed. And, guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rant Situations. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Bye, guys.